Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in to this special bowl edition of the American Huddle. I'm Haley Outen alongside Andy Gresh. Today we bring you the bowl preview of Navy vs. Virginia kicking off in the Military Bowl presented by Northrop Grumman. Andy, we have a 6-6 matchup going on both sides here. Two teams that started the year off pretty hot and then two teams that have kind of struggled here towards the latter half of the season. But what do you expect to see in this matchup?
Well, Haley, I think the tale of two seasons for Virginia. It was more about Bronco Mendenhall in his second year, not having the horses yet to be able to compete in a full ACC slate. And then for Navy, a lot of injuries. We've talked a lot about Zach Abey and the rotation at the quarterback spot, how they were trying to find a long-term answer there as they were battling through injuries. So I think for Navy, they lost a lot of close games. You could argue that maybe the kicking game wasn't as on point as it has been in years past. I don't know if I'd go there, but I think a real war of attrition got to the Navy midshipmen this year. But once again, even at what people would look at and say, it's not a great year for Navy, they're in a bowl game for however many consecutive years now under Ken Niumatalolo. And the one thing he has done, he has in a way turned Navy into the New England Patriots of the American Athletic Conference, in that you can look at it and say with like a Patriots, oh, they'll probably be in the AFC Championship game bare minimum. With Navy, you look at it and say bare minimum, they're going bowling every year, which is a testament to what they've done at the Service Academy.
You know, we've seen Navy play a lot of close ones, win some, but then also come out on the losing end in some of those as well. But it seems like the past couple of games, they've started to work Malcolm Perry into the mix at that quarterback role. We saw him get his first start of the season at SMU, had a lights-out game, then got injured, unfortunately, there towards the end, but he got the start against Army, and this guy's a really fast player, and it seems like whoever Coach Ken kind of works into that quarterback role, it's the same thing. They keep it simple, but he's getting the job done there.
Well, again, the thing, Haley, is that they're reading the defense, and whatever's presented to them, they're reacting off of it. So, you know, we make it sound so simple, but it isn't, because they're not reading coverages, they're reading fronts. So most quarterbacks, when they drop back to pass, it's what's the coverage doing? Where are the safeties? With Navy, it's not like that. It's what's the front seven? Where's my advantage? Let's run the football that way. And then whenever they do pull up for play action, it's really designed to go to one or two guys, and it's a big play. So I'm not saying that it's easy to play quarterback in Navy, because it isn't, because it might be the most physical quarterback position in all of college football with the way they run it. But you can get your quarterbacks up and ready to go. I'll be very curious to see what Virginia does in terms of giving them different looks, and will they take some of those bigger athletes on the back end that they've recruited and creep those guys up toward the line of scrimmage to force Navy to have to throw the football.
A physical game for the Virginia defense to have to deal with going up against this triple option, but a really physical player, just an outstanding athlete on the defensive side for Navy is DJ Palmore. He's a senior, he's a captain, he's had a heck of a career as a midshipman, and he's also playing in the Reese's Senior Bowl, which is a really great accomplishment for DJ.
It is for him personally, and it's a testament to the program, where you maybe thought years ago with Navy football, oh, they run a goofy system or they do things differently. Can these guys really translate to the pro level? We've seen Joe Cardona. Yeah, he's a long snapper, but hey, the world needs long snappers too. He's playing in the NFL. There are other Navy players. Keenan Reynolds, of course, was around the Ravens organization for a long time. I think DJ is another guy who, it's never going to become an NFL football factory, don't get me wrong, but the fact that they're producing guys that can go to the next level, it tells you the kind of athlete Ken Niumatalolo has been able to bring into Navy, and they can't do that if they're not making this big bowl run.
Well, Navy tends to draw pretty well when it comes to bowl games. Fans like to get out and see those midshipmen, but they're playing Virginia, who's not too far down the road. But the Mids get to play in their home stadium, one of two American teams that are actually getting to do so this bowl season. How do you think that kind of plays into it, the fact that they get to stay home in Annapolis?
The creature comforts of home are always welcome. And yes, they'll have their bowl banquets, and they'll have all the pomp and circumstance and pyro and ballyhoo that's always around bowl games. But at the end of the day, they're in their locker room. They're getting dressed in their part of the stadium. It's going to feel like a home game for them. And I think the crowd will reflect it. Look, you mentioned Virginia, not too far away from where Navy plays their home games. They'll be, I would expect the building would be pretty full, because Virginia, look, they brought in Bronco Mendenhall and spent a lot of money on him to get them to bowl games, to get them back to situations like this. So I think, considering it's the first one under Mendenhall, you'll see some people show up. But for Navy, It's like a home game. In a lot of ways, you just crank it up, flip the switch, and let's go.
Well, they'll be coming off the shortest rest, I guess, technically speaking. Still have a couple of weeks to prepare, but they are coming off a heartbreaking loss to Army in Philadelphia. We talk about it all season long. Commander-in-Chief's trophy is very important to them as well as that game. So how do they kind of recover from this and get up for this game?
Haley, it's real simple. Military Bowl. I think those words mean more to the service academies than they do the kids who are playing them on the other side, and that's with all due respect to Virginia. And knowing Bronco Mendenhall and having talked to him before, I'm sure he's going to drive it home what these Navy kids go through, what it's like for them to get to a bowl game, and why a military bowl is so important. But at the end of the day, what better way to represent college football and the country than it is to be one of the service academies to win the military bowl?
Yeah, absolutely. A very special game. Always great watching the midshipmen take the field, and you can do so too. December 28th, again in the Military Bowl presented by Northrop Grumman. That's a 1:30 p.m. Eastern kick on ESPN.